spoken of that before. Inflation will kill the dollar. For some reason, my mic was turned off, and I apologize to you guys for that. But now that the mic is back on, we can continue. All right. So if you guys missed what I said earlier, I read this right here about Socios token surging and about how it's a good buy. I read from the article here as well. Okay. Now, next up in the news, we have many Bored Apes. NFTs are in danger of getting liquidated as borrowed money comes back to bite. All right. So what you have here is you had a lot of people who were using their Bored Apes as collateral on Ben. I think it's BenDAO, which is a peer-to-peer lending service that lets users borrow ETH against their NFTs. And customers can typically take out a loan equal to 30 to 40% of the NFT's floor price or the minimum price of purchase, minimum price to purchase one on the open market. The floor prices have tumbled in recent months, so much so that 45 of the 272 Bored Apes on the BenDAO platform, loans tied to them are now in the platform's danger zone. So when the NFT used as collateral is close to being auctioned off. In other words, 5.3 million worth of Bored Apes are risk being liquidated. So 5.3 million dollars worth of Bored Apes were collateralized loans, and so those users are in risk of losing their Bored Apes unless they pay those loans back. All right. So before we get into a little bit more news, before we get into the XRP news, and before we get into the why the banks and the government doesn't want you to have crypto, I want to look at this the fear index chart. So this right here is the fear and greed index chart. As you can see, it's at a score of 33, or should I say it's at a score of 29 now. So it's fear in the market. And then you have the stock to flow chart right here. All right, this right here correlates with the Bitcoin price. This is the flow, stock to flow. All right, and this right here is the halving dates. And so what exactly is the stock to flow chart? It is a forecasting tool for the Bitcoin price. All right, so this is what people use to forecast the Bitcoin price as far as miners, mining Bitcoin in the price correlation or whatnot. And last but not least, we'll look at the hash rate chart. And this is the Bitcoin hash rate chart. As you can see, the correlation to when the hash rate drops, so there's a price of Bitcoin. As you can see, it's following along right here. Let's see if we can zoom in. As you can see, hash rate drops, so does the price drop. See that drop right there? Boom, drop in hash rate. Boom, you have the drop in price. All right. Every time a hash rate drops, which is the difficulty of mining, the mining difficulty for miners to mine Bitcoin, every time that drops, so does the price. So keep that in mind, okay? And you get this chart at lookintobitcoin.com for those of you that are interested. All right, let's see here. Let's go here. Now, we'll go into some of the Twitter news. Some things I wanted to show you guys off Twitter. As soon as my there we go. Here is the Twitter news. I wanted to show you guys this right here. That a lot of, this pertains to XRP. And before I actually show you guys this, we're going to look at this right here. All right. HSBC confirms that XRP represents central bank currencies. HSBC just reviewed a new report where it confirms that XRP actually represents central bank currencies. This is a much different position than what regulatory agencies like the SEC have, where they claim XRP is a security. HSBC is not only a major financial institution to make such a bold statement, as other major banks also seem to have the same sentiment. So far, Goldman Sachs, Wells Fargo, and now HSBC all classify XRP as a currency. Within the report that HSBC has revealed, it is clear that the banks will continue to treat XRP as a currency no matter what the government regulations say. So what does that tell you? Don't listen to the FUD. All the people that are saying XRP is blah, XRP is this, XRP is that. It hasn't moved anywhere, it hasn't done anything. It's a reason for that, because they don't want people to actually have it or actually hold it. Okay. Working Money here on crypto on Twitter says Wow, the news keeps getting better and better. Another document surfacing where HSBC says XRP are tokens that represent central banks' currencies. All right. Most importantly, the report says that Ripple's XRP ledger uses tokens that represent central bank currencies, which solidifies HSBC's position on what XRP is considered. With HSBC being on board, XRP investors now have reasonable cause to also believe that there are many other financial institutions around the world that are also taking this position, but are just not revealing it publicly yet. This is why I tell everybody I come across to make sure you have some type of XRPs in your bag. Okay. XRP will be the only cryptocurrency that has clarity. It will be the only cryptocurrency that will have clarity without a shadow of a doubt. All right. Now, to prove what I was saying, we're going to watch this again. All right. So let's check this out.
Swift. So we did speak earlier where you mentioned that it's not necessarily about replacing Swift, it's about complementing it. So let's get some more information on this.
Okay. I used to work for Swift. I was Swift for 20 years, so Swift is flowing through my veins.
Now, he said he used to work for Swift for 20 years now, right? It's 20 years, so he's an expert. So he knows Swift in and out, okay? See what he has back up there in the background? See that? The Euro Exim Bank. See all this right here? Don't worry about all the FUD.
Swift is the preeminent messaging system for the financial industry, which covers, say, payment.
Preeminent messaging system for the financial industry. Okay? Preeminent messaging system for the financial industry. Listen to what he's saying again.
FX, trade, in terms of securities, etc., nostra reconciliations, etc. What we're looking with the crypto, though, is where Swift would have a store and forward system for most of its payment transactions, and where you need service level agreements that in a certain time I will do something, the payment turns up at a certain time during the day. Here we're looking at the new network styles which allow instant, real-time movement to the funds and visibility of those funds as well. So we would not have a situation where banks need to come back to you and say, have my funds arrived, it's 3 days later, I need to find query messages moving around the network. There's nothing like that. I don't believe Ripple is going to replace Swift. Ripple.
Now, he ended right there like he said. It's not going to replace Swift. It's going to work hand in hand with the Swift. It's going to work in conjunction with that, okay? Now, I have some more news for you guys with XRP. Scroll down here. Then now let's listen to about the Flare network and what it's bringing to the XRP blockchain.
So I'm at the Flare team, formerly under the Ripple Spring effort, which was like a venture capital kind of arm at the time. Mm-hmm. We invested in them a few years ago. I'm very impressed with what they're doing. Flare has built a network using different pieces that they took from different blockchains, Ethereum smart contracts, Avalanche Consensus, and XRP settlement. And what they're bringing to the XRP world is essentially a DeFi solution. So they have a fast and reliable settlement mechanism, XRP, and they have ways to essentially bring Ethereum-style smart contracts to the XRP world. They've gotten a lot of exchanges.
So Flare's going to be bringing Ethereum-style smart contracts to the XRP as well as decentralization. Bang. That's going to be big.
Support their airdrop, which I think is really impressive. That's a very difficult thing to do, and that's going to make it easier for people to just for their token to be sort of distributed widely, which I think helps with keeping the system decentralized and helps with keeping the system reliable. It is fantastic to see companies building systems that add utility to XRP, and I think the ability to use XRP directly in smart contracts is going to be tremendously useful.
And that's going to be humongous. It's going to be very big. It's going to make XRP skyrocket. More XRP news. XRP Ripple to power remittances between Japan and Thailand. Okay. Now, more proof they don't want you to hold XRP. Okay. But before we get into this document, I want you to understand what you hold. Okay. You have to understand, you have to do the research, and you have to know what's FUD, and you have to be able to learn to shift through the BS and look for the jewels and to know what you hold, okay? Now let's go ahead and see what they're talking about right here. Restricting investors might help. And this is off of the World Economic Forum website, okay? World Economic Forum, they hold meetings at Davos, and they decide world economic policy with world leaders. So let's see what they say. We're just going to read the highlighted parts. If these financial institutions use the technology to reduce settlement times from several weeks to a day or two, however, this could broaden the secondary market of unfunded loans and invite reconsideration of their classification as securities. Investor expectations may become murkier. However, if a broad range of investors naively acquire loans, if attorneys can find sympathetic plaintiffs who lost money in syndicated loans, this could provide the impetus for a court to reclassify the loans as securities. If syndicated loans were treated as securities, they would need to comply with the requirements for private placements. This suggests that they may be worthwhile to restrict users of the new system to qualify institutional buyers. It would also allow the system to convert a private placement regime if a court ever rules adversely on the exclusion of syndicated loans from the definition of securities. All right, and shout out to Digital Asset Investor for finding that document right there for the XRP. Okay, now listen to what he says about XRP as well.
It is really a ledger.
Start it over.
The XRP ledger is a public ledger. It is really a ledger of liabilities. So what I mean by that is you can take money from somebody and issue a balance on the Ripple ledger. You can take gold, you deposit gold with somebody and you.
So you can take assets, even gold specifically, is what he said.
Liabilities. So
Say it
what I
again.
mean by that is you can take money from somebody and issue a balance on the Ripple ledger.
Exactly.
You can take gold, you deposit gold with somebody and you can issue a balance in gold on the Ripple ledger. So
And that's big right there. And that's big. If you've heard the rumors saying that XRP is probably going to be backed by gold or have something to do with gold and hand in hand. So that'll be big. Now, this is from way back right here, in May. Swift is collaborating with Cbdc to use crypto for cross-border payments. Cbdc sees Ripple and XRP as a solution, right? Cbdc World of Payments 2021 report. Companies like Ripple and XRP protocol are already being touted as the next phase transformation of the global remittance market. New experiments pave the way for international payments using CBDCs. Right? We're collaborating with Cbdc. Writings on the wall. XRP is going to make a lot of people rich. A lot of people rich. Okay? A lot of people. Now, let's go in here and see what Dave of the X22 report says. Okay? We're going to put it back here 10 minutes. Because you might not listen to me, but let's see if you listen to what Dave says about why they don't want you to own crypto. Why they don't want decentralized blockchain. Now let's go. Let's see
and
what
the
say,
IRS, they are their band of thugs that come after you if you don't pay up. That's what this really is all about. And the blockchain, cryptocurrency,
Here we
this
go.
is a
This the
threat
part.
to their system.
Yeah, yes, it is.
Carbon Public explains, blockchain is the single greatest threat to the powerful elite in the history of the world. Why?
I agree.
Because it is a way to disintermediate the banking cartel. And it
Yep.
offers a means for fully transparent and secure public ledger transactions.
And they don't want that because they can't do the corrupt things that they can do with their fiat currency. Okay? Everything's out in the open on the blockchain. Is transparent. You can see what's going on and what's happening. And they do not want that of all things. So what else, Dave?
It solves problems from financing to voting, ensuring a way for the theftless elections. For this reason, they will stop at nothing to make sure you flee from the blockchains and cryptocurrency and into the open arms of the central bank, the biz, and their CBDCs.
And that is why the crypto market keeps on fluctuating up and down, because they want you to shake you out. They don't want you to have this. They don't want you to get rich. They don't want you to change your life. They don't want you to get generational wealth. They want you to come into their central bank digital currency so where they can have total control. They can watch and see and monitor what you buy and purchase your things with and decide whether or not they should allow you to buy it. Okay? Think about what's going on in China right now. All those people in China right now that are protesting because they can't get their money, or protesting because they can't get their housing, because their housing is crashing and their economy is crashing. The government is cutting off their funds using the digital ID, okay, and their central bank backed digital currency. All right, they cannot access their money to eat. They cannot access their money to get transportation, the train, to food. They cannot access their money for anything because they protested, and the central bank, the Chinese central bank, cut off their access to their currency via digital CBDCs. That is why it is not good to have it. And that is what the United States want to do. That is what the rest of the World Economic Forum wants the rest of the world to follow and pattern after. Okay, and we're going to get into that more afterwards. So let's continue to hear what Dave has to say.
See through this. They want us to capitulate. We will not. Well, think about the people of the world, especially here in the United States. Did we capitulate to the vaccine passports? No, we did not. I do believe the people, as things get worse and worse and worse, people are going to start to realize, hey, you know something? Gold, cryptocurrency, this is something that I should have. And I do believe you should have both. I believe too.
I believe you should have gold and cryptocurrency and silver as well. Okay? Now, silver will get knocked down to $9, gold to around $1,000. But once that happens, it's going to be hard to get your hands on it because the dealers are not going to sell it because they're going to be losing profit. They're going to be losing out on profit. So now is the time to get it.
Gold is an incredible store of wealth, but it's very difficult because you have to carry it around. And I do believe the central bank...
And that's what you have cryptocurrency for.
They've done it in the past. Hey, you know something? Instead of using gold and carrying around gold and silver, it's very heavy. You know what we can do? We can create a paper ticket, and that's what the Federal Reserve note is. It's a paper ticket for the gold and the silver that you have in the bank. And they know how to manipulate this and take us off their system. Cryptocurrency, the blockchain, is a little bit different.
Exactly.
Because really, think about it. Is it heavy? No, it's electronic.
No, you can carry it everywhere you want to go.
Central bank digital currency. They don't like this.
USB, thumb drive, phone.
They don't control it. See, when people hear the
and
blockchain...
that is the big thing right there. They don't control it. They don't like decentralization. They don't like majority of the crypto, so they're trying to kill it. They're trying to kill the crypto market, trying to kill everything except for the central central bank-backed digital currencies.
They think, oh my God, it's a central bank digital currency. They're going to be on the blockchain just like cryptocurrency. No, the difference is that the blockchain there can be many things on the blockchain. And this is a transparent ledger. And there are many, many servers that have it. So if you down one server, it's decentralized, and it makes no difference because another server has the same exact copy of the ledger. And it keeps track of everything. Very, very difficult to lie in what you have or the way you voted or contracts or anything like that. The central bank digital currency, that is a centralized digital currency controlled by the central bank.
And that is not what you want.
Just like the fiat currency, just like the blips now in the bank. So it's very, very different. They don't like the decentralized system because they have no control over it. See, they like the centralized digital currency on the blockchain because they can see everything that you're doing because they're in control of the system. A decentralized currency or system on the blockchain, they have no control over. And they don't have the ability to create and continually create currency.
Exactly, because most of the cryptocurrencies are capped. Okay, it's a certain amount of cryptocurrencies you can't make anymore, and they don't like that fact either. It's not like the United States where they were okay. Well, we need more money. We're just going to print more money and make inflation go higher and higher. Can't do that with cryptocurrency because it's a set supply, and they don't like that. All right, so let's get into another video, okay? Government are using the, Treasury and using their strong arm. Letters were sent to 5 companies, cease and desist letters. So let's talk about this right here, which was good because they were actually lying about being FDIC insured.
I'll tell you what, we just got this breaking news. To be fair, now all of these crypto assets were down considerably before the news. Let me just pull up a chart of Bitcoin.
What I wanted to see.
Our FDIC.
Yeah.
Crypto-related products. sites and social media accounts stating or suggesting that certain crypto-related products are FDIC insured and that stocks held in brokerage accounts are FDIC insured. These companies include FTX, CryptoNews.com, CryptoSec.info, SmartAsset.com, and FDICCrypto.com.
All right, now FTX was FTX.us, all right, but that was one of the reasons why the market crashed down and why it fell. All right, so I wanted to show you guys this right here too. More proof of what the governments are trying to do when I say they're trying to take over your crypto when they don't want you in it. All right.
Time now. U.S. Senator, we're talking here about.
I want you to listen here to
turning his attention toward
this guy here. Listen to what he says.
Yeah, so the context here is yesterday, Senator Toomey sent out a letter to the FDIC basically saying he had heard from whistleblowers and affected parties claiming that the FDIC's DC headquarters had been pressuring regional FDIC entities as well as banks to basically not provide services to crypto companies.
So see the games they play, the underhanded, dirty tactics they play, the corrupt government. This is what they do right here. This is what they do. Land of the free, right? Innovation, right? We follow the laws, right? No, what we do is we say we follow the laws, and then behind closed door we do underhanded tactics like this, send and put pressure on them because we don't want the crypto companies to be selling crypto to the people who may get rich. Okay, we cannot have that. We cannot have a bunch of people who we deem are not capable of managing their money, so they have to be protected. So therefore, we can't have them getting rich. We can't have them making money. We can't have them investing in themselves. We can't have them making investments themselves. No, because we must get a piece of the pie every way that it turns. Okay, every time you turn the pie, we have to get a piece.
And Operation Choke Point, of course, was this 2014 era operation by the FDIC and DOJ to similarly have the FDIC and DOJ government entities lean on banks that were providing services to payday lenders and gun issuers, or gun sellers, and kind of
they used something from 2013.
And this was a huge area of controversy because even though the stated gain, effort was to tamp down on potentially illicit activity and money laundering, valid concerns in this day and age. The concern was that it was also being used to tamp down on politically disfavored, operations. So legal.
But now they were using this now to go against crypto companies, okay? To try to put pressure on the banks to have them stop doing business with crypto companies so that you, the retail consumer, do not get into crypto. Wow. Ain't this some bullshit?
But perhaps not as, desirable. And in crypto in particular, the crypto industry has long felt that banks have been, not providing services to crypto companies because the fact that it's crypto and because it's new and there's all these concerns about, potentially illicit use. And what we've seen
now. Remember, about 8 months ago, you had a lot of banks that were saying, "Well, we're not going to be offering services for crypto. You can't use our cards to buy crypto, etc., because of money laundering, because there's a black market, because of criminals, etc." Now we know why, because of this shit right here is coming out.
Is that a lot of banks just don't provide services to crypto companies. It was a big deal when we found out that, for example, Coinbase had an actual banking relationship with a major bank. So, the FDIC, if these allegations are true, and
this is why it's important that you put in government crypto-friendly politicians.
But if these claims are true, then it would suggest that banks are, not providing services or to perfectly legal entities because of the FDIC.
Perfectly legal entities are not getting services provided from the banks because the FDIC is strong arming the banks to not do business with legal entities, legal U.S. entities. You can't make this up, man. You can't make this up.
From the FDIC to this, and and where might this go? I mean, is this sort of stuff that can sort of lead to a broader legal challenge?
Yeah. So the FDIC, in a statement, basically said that it has the right to check for security and soundness. And if you actually look on the FDIC website, in April, they actually published a letter to all of the banks under supervision saying, hey, if you want to get in crypto, tell us first and let us know, and we will ask for information and review that and then give you approval. So, what one possible explanation, I'm not saying this is happening.
So they're using the Gary Gensler, the Grinch tactics. Come in and talk to us, and then when you come in and talk to us, then we're going to come after you. Great. Great. Just as corrupt, I tell you. Next, I want you to hear this guy right here. Okay? He's going to tell you exactly what I've been telling you for the longest. Okay? So we're going to get to it.
A very cutting edge part of the digital currency landscape, namely central bank digital currencies.
Here we go.
That brings up
Listen to what he says now. Listen closely.
Questions. So both of our guests
about the CBDCs.
Working on different versions of what a digital dollar, a United States digital dollar might look like. And so let's just get right into it. So I think I want to just start really big picture before we get into like the weeds. Let's start with Chris. Chris, why do we need a digital dollar? Why do we need it? Why can't we just use Venmo, PayPal, credit cards, what stable coins? What's the real like powerful argument for even this thing existing?
So let's divide need into a need to experiment from need to deploy. If we look around the globe today, 105 countries.
105 now.
95% of the world's GDP.
95% of the GDP. All right, 95% of the world's GDP is experimenting with cryptocurrency. 95% of the world's GDP is experimenting with cryptocurrency. Think about that for a minute. Sit back and ponder on that for a minute. All this negativity that you're hearing about cryptocurrency is FUD. FUD. Now I want you to sit here and look at me. 95% of the world's GDP is experimenting with cryptocurrency. That should tell you something. That should rattle in your head. It should, light bulbs should start going out. Bling, 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 bling. You should want to know and find out everything you can about cryptocurrencies, about certain cryptocurrencies. You should want, that shit right there should motivate you to do the research. If you want generational wealth, if you want to change the outlook of your generation, if you want to change your just your lifestyle, you need to start doing the research. Quit being lazy and do the research. So let's continue.
A digital bearer instrument. Of that 105, 50 are in advanced exploration.
50 in advance, but in advance.
Rolled out central bank digital currency, including China, which has put.
And 10 have already rolled out, including China, which is the number one, which is the one that everybody is trying to pattern themselves after. Okay, everybody's trying to pattern themselves after China. Now let's go back and finish.
What they call their ECNY, their digital yuan, in the hands of over 250 million Chinese.
So 250 million Chinese already have their CBDC, and the ones that protested have gotten theirs access to their CBDC currency cut off, and that is why the governments want to do. They want to follow the footsteps of China. Okay.
And that's probably an understatement. So the answer is digital currency is not only being experimented with widely.
Now listen closely to what he's fixing to say here.
So what do we need to do in the United States? And that's to make sure that if it comes.
So he's finna tell you what the United States, what they're trying to do.
That it comes with the right design features, and that's what we're doing.
The right design features. So what's the right design features? The World Economic Forum, which controls most of the world's economic policy, have already told you we like the blockchain. We just don't like the decentralized blockchain. It needs to be centralized. We need to have control over it, i.e., we need to see what you're doing, but you can't see what we're doing. He's telling you right here, right now. Certain parameters. We need to make it to where to tailor it to our use.
Today to experiment with it.
That's great. great. That's a really good. That's very similar to my own view. It's like whether
Now,
you like it or not. It's
I want to go on to something else that he says right here when he talks about the privacy part of it.
because
Whenever you go from an analog system to a digital system in any walk of life, you now are freed of the technological constraints to make design choices. The question of privacy in a digital dollar or digital stablecoin is a design choice. Question is, what are
Notice he said again, design choice. Now he's going to go in and say that the government, that the Constitution already provides for laws for privacy, etc. And this is why it'd be good. So there's already laws in place for it. And he's going to try to really, really push the central bank digital currency. Don't do it. Don't fall for it. Do not fall for it. Okay, it is a control mechanism, and they will use it as such, and you will regret it.
The work that Ney has done at MIT, the Bank of Boston, the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston, is so important because they've explored an architecture upon which those design choices can be made. So when we think about it,
so the Federal Reserve of Boston have already came up with concepts of those designs that the Treasury and the World Economic Forum want to use.
Digital dollar, we should not automatically presume government surveillance. What we as a free
You hear what he said? We should not automatically presume government surveillance. But what has the government been doing over the last couple of decades? They have slowly eroding away at your rights and at your privacy. Okay? This right here is the nail in the coffin. Why? Because you can control a country's currency, or you can control a person's currency. You can control that person. Think about what I just said. If you can control that person's money, you can control that person. If you can control a country's currency, you can control that country. All right? Ponder on that for a second.
Society should require, what we should demand is privacy, because that's what we do in a free society. In fact, if you think about it, if we get it right, a digital dollar could be the most
There he goes.
instrument on earth.
Trying to push it. Could be the most private instrument on earth. Why? Because the federal government privacy laws already have laws in place for privacy, which the federal government does not abide by because they go around and use their quote-unquote allies to spy on Americans already as it is.
It starts with a restriction contained in our Fourth Amendment against invasions of privacy.
And he's really pushing hard, boy.
Not subject to. I mean, isn't it interesting that our Constitution...
And I'm just going to ask you to use common sense. Think about the past and how it relates to the future, present day.
And does it all the time. So you can imagine a world in which privately operated digital money is subject to censorship, but government-operated digital money, if we're true to our values, would not be subject to...
And see what he said, if we're true to our values. If we're true to our values. He has it all the way backwards, okay? He has it backwards. Decentralized would be more privacy as opposed to government, which would be more open, and they will be spying and watching on your purchases and determining what and how much, what in the quantity of items that you can buy.
Censorship. But all of these are choices that, fortunately, in a free society, we get to make.
And you should make the right decision and the right choice and not mess with the central bank digital currency.
Much a social construct as it is a government construct. And in a free society, we should be as actively engaged in the design of digital money of the future, both in the private sector and the public sector, to make sure it accords with our values, as opposed to what's happening in China, where the government is setting its values and imposing it on its citizenry.
And that is what every country is trying to get onto. Governments want control. All right, what government does not want control? And now they keep on trying to say China is not what they're trying to do, but we all know that that is in fact the opposite of what they say comes out of their mouths is what actually takes place, and that is what they're actually trying to do is institute the Chinese central bank, platform, should I say? Okay. Now it's 43 minutes in. All right, if you like the content that we provide, go ahead and hit the like button. Go ahead and hit the subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment and let us know what you think so far of the information that's been provided to you. All right, so we'll go ahead now and start getting to some of the charts. All right, we'll look at the charts and see what they're looking like, and we'll start off with the Bitcoin chart. All right, this is the Bitcoin 4-hour chart where we always start looking at the week chart, which just closed. Weekly just closed a couple of hours ago on Sunday. Now, what we needed the Bitcoin bulls to show up and push the price above the 200 SMA. The 200 SMA is right here, the yellow line. As you can see, that did not happen, and it is well below the 200 SMA. So you will see more downturn this week in Bitcoin. All right, that is my prediction as far as that goes. I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. As always, do your own research. But as you can see, the RSI is oversold. The MACD is starting to turn green as Bitcoin is now starting to get bought up a little bit. And as you can see, the price action is starting to, this candle is starting to push up a little bit, and hopefully it turns to the green by the time morning comes. All right, as the time is 9:45 p.m. on Sunday, August the 21st. Okay, now let's look at the daily chart. As you can see, the daily chart right here, RSI is still down here, oversold. Bitcoin, you have the sell-off is starting to reside a little bit on the daily. Okay, and it is still below the 200, and it's here at the resistance mark, which is 21,653. All right, here on the 4-hour chart, as I pull us up right here, looks like the 21 right here. 21 crossed the 50 over here on the 17th, which formed a death cross. As you can see, after that death cross, you see price action immediately fall downward. It looks like it's trying to consolidate a little bit as it hits this resistance right here, 21,600. So, in my opinion, it's probably going to fall more this week, more to the downside. Close to 20,000, below 20,000, between 20K and 15K is my prediction. As you can see, it broke the rising wedge and it fell down. You had a measured move down here, okay, and it started to reverse the trend, and now you have a downward trend for me, okay. And let me draw the downward trend line real quick on this 4-hour chart. As you can see, the downward trend right there, and Bitcoin is coming up and touching that downward trend line, and it falls back down. So as you can see, I see 19,000 in the next couple of days, if not tomorrow, in Bitcoin's future. Okay, look at the 1-hour chart, see the direction that the price action is moving right now. This is the 1-hour chart, Bitcoin 1-hour chart. As you can see, price action is consolidating. Every time it hits the resistance, it falls back down, and it has a little bit of room left here in this triangle here that's forming here. As you can see, I'll go ahead and hit that right there, as this is a support line right here. As it went down and touched twice here at 21,000, at 20,700. It touched twice, so that has become support here on this 1-hour chart. So as you can see, it's running out. It has a little room to run for the next couple of days, but I suspect it will go back down, and price action will move down towards it. RSI on the hour chart is moving towards overbought, so you will see it probably go up a little bit more and before it pulls back. Okay, now if you have watched the previous videos or have tuned in on the previous Sunday night hangouts, and you have noticed that I have told you that Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market is following the S&P 500 E-mini futures. Okay, and this is the chart right here. This is the hour chart on the E-mini futures, and just to show you what I'm talking about, let's go look at the weekly E-mini futures chart. Okay, this is the E-mini futures weekly. Okay, as you can see right here, you had a death cross and then brought price action down, which did the same thing to Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency markets. Okay, so you can watch this, and it'll give you a little insight into what's going on and how to position yourself and trade the markets as far as the crypto markets go, because it is following the stock market. Okay, no matter what people are saying, if you look very closely, it is following it. All right, so this E-money futures is pulling back, and as you can see, crypto is pulling back as well. All right, so now let's look at Ethereum. This is Ethereum right here, which you had a pullback. It's Ethereum 4-hour chart. As you can see, you see the 200, the 21 starting to cross the 200, which is going to pull price action down as well. Okay, you have 16,005 holding as support. But I suspect Ethereum hovers along that line, that support line, up and down. Okay. Let's look at the weekly chart, Ethereum. As you can see, the Ethereum chart, weekly chart, you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You had 6 weeks of green candles on the weekly chart, so it was due for a red candle. And as you can see, red candle is starting to form today on this daily chart right here. All right, I mean weekly chart. I'm sorry, right here at the support line. Okay. Now this right here is a bull trap. As you can see, you have a rising wedge right here, which is 68% chance it'll break to the downside. And as you can see, it's already starting that break to the downside. So I was probably going to see, Ethereum is probably going to chop along as Bitcoin. Probably going to do what Bitcoin does. If Bitcoin chops, it's going to chop. One way to tell is by looking at the Bitcoin dominance chart. I always told you guys at the Hangout gang, if you follow me, then you know that if Bitcoin dominance is up, then the altcoins bleed. If Bitcoin dominance falls, then the altcoins rise. And as you can see, Bitcoin is starting to get the dominance chart starting to turn green, and as you can see, all this red over here. Okay, Bitcoin turns green, the rest of the coins turn red. As you can see, altcoins turn red. Why? Because Bitcoin dominance is starting to turn green. All right. So if you are a subscriber to this channel and you watch the videos that we drop and pay attention, then you already know that the Bitcoin dominance is directly tied to the altcoins. Okay, it's some alpha that we drop here on the channel. All right. So now, let's see here. Let's go take a look at XRP. And this is XRP. As you can see, you have sell off as well. XRP. This is on the weekly chart. Look at that 4-hour chart, see what it looks like. And as you can see, XRP right here forming right here, and this right here could be a bull trap, could be a bear trap, but I think it's going to fall down some more. It's going to do what, depending on what Bitcoin does and the Bitcoin dominance. Okay, but as you can see on the 4-hour charts, red candles already starting to form, and etc. So right here, support at 33 cents. If it breaks that right there, next support line is 32 cents, which is more than likely probably to break that. My targets for the bottom of XRP is 21 cents, the bottom of Ethereum $408 to $450, and Bitcoin anywhere between 7,000 and 15,000. Those were my bottoms for those 3 cryptocurrencies. Okay, just for new viewers and new subscribers to the channel. Okay, so that would be all. That'd be all for today's video for the Sunday Night Hangout. As always, every Sunday we do this live, and thanks for all you guys that are watching, that tune in, all the ones that comment, and all the ones that share our videos and like the information that we provide. Okay, until the next video, to the next Hangout section, which every Sunday at 7:30 Central Standard Time we go live. And we do the news, we do the technical analysis, and we do the commentary over, clips. Okay. So until next Sunday, Crypto Crane signing out. Peace.